actually came as a recommendation I got an email from a gentleman named Austin S. Austin S., thank you for this story. Very, very interesting story. Very, very hard to really get some meat out of, because most of the meaty stuff is in Spanish. But it's slowly trickling out into the English. And it's like Operation Plate, where it's kind of like an explosive UFO alien story. But it's just slowly trickling out into English, which is kind of that's really where most conspiracy stuff is covered in English. And there's a lot of pushback on it. And it's interesting because we're going to get into what the debunkers actually have a problem with. So, the Nazca region of Peru. Nazca is most famous for the Nazca lines. It's the huge drawings in the sand that when you go up in the air, you see like a bird or a person or a goat or whatever. Now, we covered the Nazca lines a long time ago. I'm of the belief that Nazca lines were created by locals to, basically, they were signs for the gods to see. I don't think there was any aliens in doing it. If there was aliens making the Nazca lines and aliens making the pyramids, they kind of shorted Peru on that because, Egypt got these huge monuments and Nazca just got some lines in the dirt. But I think they were made by the locals to celebrate the god, and they could figure out how to draw them, and they usually come around. They either point near water or are near water. In Peru, that area doesn't have a lot of water, so it kind of lines up to the idea it's a religious thing. But in 2015 in Peru, archaeologists, we have a lot of archaeologists this week. Oh wait, no, these guys aren't archaeologists, actually. Now I remember, these guys are even funnier. It is a group of treasure hunters led by a guy named Mario. Now, I feel bad for people I don't pity people named Mario. But Mario is one of those names that when people hear it, they immediately think of Mario Brothers. Like all the time. So I imagined a treasure hunter, and I never told you this guy's story. I have to tell you guys this story real quick. I saw Mario and Luigi in real life once. Wasn't on drugs. Wasn't hallucinating. I was driving down the street. I was driving by American River College out in Sacramento. And I saw a short, squat man with a mustache walking next to a taller guy with a mustache. And the short guy was wearing a red hat. And the tall guy was wearing a green shirt. And the short guy, the Mario basically, took his hat off. And it was like Three Stooges-esque. He took his hat off and he hit the tall guy on the head. And the tall guy rubbed his head over dramatically, like it actually hurt, just getting hit. It was Mario and Luigi. It was Mario and Luigi in the real world. I should have walked up to him and said, "Can I join you on your quest?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to go paint a house, weirdo." Treasure hunter, sorry, I got off on a rant there. Mario, no. Yeah, treasure hunter named Mario discovers in the warp zone, he's in Nazca, it's year 2015, he finds 5 mummies. Now, he had found mummies in the past, and he has some of the stuff he's found in the past, some people said have been controversial, and other people are like, no, it wasn't controversial, he was mistaken, he wasn't trying to pull a fraud, so there's been debate over this gentleman in the past anyways. But he discovers these 5 mummies, and he contacts Gaia.com. Now, Gaia.com is like a alternative spirituality, mental consciousness type of website. I looked into them. I was like, I wonder if I can work with them. And I was like, nah, we're really not on the same wavelength, but because I know they do videos and stuff like that. But so they started investigating it, and they sent a journalist out to take a look at these mummies. And I think they had a team with them as well, because eventually the mummies do catch the eye of anthropologists and archaeologists, and they're like, what is up with these things? Apparently there's 5 mummies. They've been carbon dated to being 1700 years old, back when that area was flourishing, and you got these mummies. The one that really is sparking the imagination. There is a mummy that is about 2 to 3 feet tall, and it looks more like a humanoid bird than a human. What's interesting is that mummy is not talked about in most of the debunking articles. This is really where the schism lies. So, Gaia.com says we found these 5 mummies. They appear to have metal parts in their body. This one appears to be like a bird baby. And according to x-rays, it looks like it may have eggs in its tummy. The pushback is testing was done on one of the mummies, one of the weird-looking mummies, and it came back 100% human. They never say it was and the debunking ones, they never say which one it was. They just say it was 100% human, the whole thing's fake, you don't have to worry about it. Mario is a fraud, it's totally fake. They say that the mummies are actually a bunch of other mummies reassembled to look like weirdo people and then re-mummified. That's their argument. They take these body parts. Mario took all these assembled, like he just had a bunch of mummy parts laying around in his garage. It's a Sunday afternoon. What else are you going to do? He made these 5 mummies and then displayed them. So that's it's weird that they don't really talk about the alien looking one. And really there's a lot more debunking on this. Gaia.com is really the only one pushing the story. Again, at least in English. Everyone else is like, the people involved, like Gaia.com, what do they know? Those guys are wacky. They believe in all this stuff. So most of the debunking is actually attacking the sources rather than the subject. This is the weird part of this story. If that wasn't weird, what happened? And this is how it came to my attention. Austin emailed it to me, and he emailed me this 4chan link. On November 19th, 2018, so just a couple months ago, Gaia TV and a bunch of scientists went to the Peruvian Congress to present their evidence. Outside the Congress, you had the Peruvian Astrobiology Association protesting it, wanting to debate. And what's weird about that is normally it would be the other side around. Like normally you would have a bunch of scientist people talking about 9/11 to Congress and how it happened and military personnel. And outside you would have the 9/11 truthers going, no, debate us. But this was the fringe theory going to the Peruvian Congress. It's not like a shack. It's not some like weirdo group in there. They're talking to the elected body of Peru about their findings, and outside are the quote-unquote reputable scientists being locked out of that conversation. So here is and to be fair on the people disputing, saying that they don't mention the little alien bird baby, to be fair, that information may have come out after those articles were published. I've noticed that a couple times. I've held journalists to task. I'm like, how come they didn't include this? And then I found out that was revealed much later. But this description was what was posted on 4chan. It was a translation from a Spanish description that was being presented to the Peruvian Congress. So we are playing a bit of a game of a telephone. It's going from a presentation in Spanish into English and then posted on 4chan. So you don't know exactly who's posting this, but this is what apparently was stated to the Peruvian Congress about these mummies. No indications of artificial manipulation of the body. It was a biologically functioning entity. They're talking specifically about the bird baby. Organs intact, humanoid form with reptile characteristics. No hair, no ears, no nose, no nipples, reptilian skin, hollow bones, similar to a bird. 2 feet tall. Bipedal, right? Bipedal with natural wear on the femur junctions that couldn't possibly be reproduced by artificial means. Large head, elongated skull, retractable neck, orbital cavities would have provided the thing with more than 180-degree vision. So on and so forth. It says it has a beak, 3-fingered claws, bird-shaped dinosaur feet. And that's where they're like, no, that was Mario made that fake-looking hand. It didn't really have 3 claws. And they said that it seemed like it was unisex, whereas basically it had 2 sexual organs and had eggs in its bodies and things like that. So, and then when they were talking about the mummies, there was 5 of them, and they said, 1 is confirmed to have been ritually mutilated, so 1 had been chopped up or changed. 1 is confirmed at least partially human, but has abnormalities. Josephina is the one they named this little bird baby. And then there are 2 smaller ones that hadn't been tested before the Congress controversy. One thing that was interesting, and again, according to Gaia.com and the researchers who presented this information to Peru, they said that Josephina shared human DNA. It was 30% shared with human DNA. And you're thinking, well, okay, that's not bad. And I was going through the 4chan post, and people were saying a banana has 90% human DNA. Like, pretty much anything on this planet shares a ton of percentage of DNA with humans, because we all evolved together. So to find something that is 30% human would basically be a complete alien. That shouldn't exist on this planet. If a banana has 9, which I thought was so funny, where basically a banana is 90% human. Actually, now that I say that, it's kind of gross. Eating little people. But so, again, this just happened in November. This was the first I ever heard of this story, even though it really popped off in 2015. Gaia.com, for me, is or is not a reputable site. I know of them. I never really look into their stuff because it's mostly like middle-aged mom magic. It's one of those type of sites where they just talk about like self-healing and I got nothing but Gaia.com ads on YouTube for the past 2 weeks because I was looking into this story. But it's all stuff like how to make your life better, which I guess is a good thing. But you know what I mean? It's stuff that women are into and to like boost their mental health or something. Like, again, I don't know why I'm disparaging that, but you know what I mean. It's Oprah level metaphysics, I guess is a better way to put it. So it's kind of cool that they're actually pushing this. I think that's an interesting story. And we'll see what comes of this. This is still unraveling. Again, there's a bit of a language barrier, but we'll see. I think it's interesting that Gaia.com is pushing this. I think it's interesting that they presented this and they were accepted to present it in front of the Peruvian Congress. And we'll see what comes out from this. We'll see if the debunkers have some better stuff other than just look at Gaia.com, which I guess is what I just did, but I'm not dismissing it just because they're putting forth this story. I'm just not a fan of that type of entertainment to begin with. But if they're pushing... now I sound like a dick, but I think you guys know what I mean. Like, I hope that this is true. I hope that Gaia.com does make a breakthrough with this. I think this is a really fascinating story, and it would add another little twist to the human story. Now, I should say human/banana story, but that was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.